2 minutes ago, in a wood-paneled Senate Intelligence Committee room, Mazie Hirono did something nobody expected. She asked Cash Patel one simple question. How many FBI employees have left since January 20th? And Patel couldn't answer. What happens after that refusal, the way Hirono responds, and Patel's expression when she corners him, changes everything about what we know is happening inside the FBI. If you are new here, subscribe and turn on notifications, because this story is just beginning, and what comes next will shake the FBI to its core. This isn't just about numbers, this is about the systematic destruction of America's premier law enforcement agency. Let me set the scene. Senate Intelligence Committee afternoon session. Wood-paneled walls, C-SPAN cameras rolling, the kind of formal Washington theater where careers are made and destroyed. Cash Patel walked in with his standard confidence. You know the look, shoulders back, chin up, that I've survived worse stride. 3 lawyers behind him, 2 aides flanking the table, a folder he never opened. He has done dozens of these hearings. He knows how to handle hostile questions, how to run out the clock, how to deflect and dodge until his time is up. But he wasn't prepared for Hirono. The first 30 minutes were standard Washington kabuki theater. Budget allocations, counterterrorism updates, field office resources. Patel handled it fine, gave his usual non-answers, checked his watch twice, probably thinking he was cruising toward another successful stonewalling session. Then Hirono took the microphone, and you could feel the room shift, that change in energy when someone who's been waiting patiently is about to strike. Director Patel, she said, voice measured and cold, there have been significant personnel changes at the FBI since President Trump took office. I want to understand the scope. How many FBI employees have retired, resigned, been fired, or separated from employment? I need a number. Patel didn't flinch. We will get you a number, Senator. Standard deflection. Move on. Run the clock. Promise information later that will never come. But Hirono wasn't moving on. What is the number? You don't have it. Not off the top of my head, Patel replied. I want to get you the right number. Hirono paused. You could see the calculation happening behind her eyes. Would it surprise you, she said, that it is in the thousands, like 5,000? The room went quiet. 5,000, not routine turnover. Not normal retirement patterns. A purge. Patel's expression didn't change, but his hands did. From resting casually to pressing down flat, fingers white at the knuckles. I don't think that number is accurate, he said. You don't know, Hirono shot back immediately. Next question. And that is when it unraveled. Hirono wasn't asking random questions, she had a strategy, a list designed to corner Patel step by step, documenting his ignorance or his refusal to answer on the record. How many special agents or analysts have left or been fired since January 20th, 2025? We'll get you the numbers, Patel repeated. Anyone that retires is of their own volition. Anyone terminated failed to meet standards and uphold loyalty and oath to the Constitution. But nobody knew what those standards were. Nobody knew who decided what loyalty meant, and Patel wasn't explaining. Next question, Hirono continued. How many executive assistant directors or special agents in charge have left or been fired? Before Patel could deflect again, Hirono cut him off. I'm asking about FBI leadership, and you don't have that answer either. She wasn't asking anymore. She was documenting his refusal on record. Next question. Which field office has lost the most personnel? Patel shifted uncomfortably. Actually, every field office including Hawaii received a plus-up of agents because we're pushing them to the field. Classic deflection, a pivot from loss to gain, but Hirono saw through it immediately. So you are telling me no field office lost any personnel? That is your answer. In Hawaii there has been a plus-up, Patel insisted. In every state, we allocated a plus-up so the FBI can continue historic achievements in these 7 months. Then he said it. The line that would trend across social media for days. When you are talking about firings, you are looking for a media hit and fundraising clip, and I am not giving it to you. The room exploded. Gasps from the gallery, reporters scrambling for their phones, committee members looking at each other in shock. Patel had just accused a sitting United States senator of conducting a show trial for political donations on live television. "It doesn't matter," Hirono responded. Ice cold. "I just want to know how many people have left, and I think your testimony is nobody has left." "Nope, that is not my testimony," Patel shot back. "You asked it one time. I answered it one time. You did not get the answer you wanted for your clips. Keep asking it. I told you I'll get you the numbers, but you can keep asking it." Something electric was in the air now. This wasn't the usual congressional theater. This was personal. This was two people who genuinely could not stand each other going head-to-head with no script, no handlers, just raw confrontation. "Which field office has gained the most personnel since January 2025? Hirono continued. "You noted there have been plus-ups. So which offices received these plus-ups?" "The greatest allocation was given to California, and then Florida," Patel answered. "California and Florida," he repeated. But here is what nobody in that room was saying out loud. California and Florida, the two states with the largest immigrant populations, the two states where Trump's deportation agenda was being pushed hardest. The FBI wasn't being reinforced for counterterrorism or cyber threats. It was being weaponized for immigration enforcement, and everyone in that room knew it. Director Patel Hirono said, shifting gears, "You often refer to FBI agents as cops, but Congress has empowered and equipped the FBI to take on missions that local police cannot, especially taking on terrorists, hackers, and spies. I'd like to assess how well the FBI is able to handle its specialized missions under your leadership." The FBI is the nation's lead federal law enforcement agency for investigating and preventing acts of domestic and international terrorism, Hirono continued. And yet the executive assistant directors in charge of the FBI's national security and intelligence branches were both forced out at the beginning of the year, who replaced them in those positions. "Excellently qualified personnel," Patel said immediately, "to lead the mission of arresting 23,000 violent criminals this year alone. That is twice as many as before. They took the places of—" He stopped himself mid-sentence, realizing he was about to name the people he just fired. "I am not going to give you any names, so you can attack them." "Why not?" Hirono asked. "So you can attack them," Patel repeated. "I am not doing that." But Hirono wasn't asking about attacking anyone. She was asking about national security, about the people who were supposed to be hunting terrorists and foreign spies, not processing deportation cases. FBI counterterrorism, special agents and investigators were reassigned to assist with immigration enforcement, she stated. "Have those experts remained in the jobs they trained for since that time, yes or no?" FBI agents' primary responsibility is exactly what they are assigned to do, Patel began. "Have they returned to their positions?" Hirono interrupted. "You are not going to let me answer," Patel said, his frustration finally showing through the professional facade. "Why don't you just do your soliloquy in the 4.5 minutes you have left?" "I am not asking for a soliloquy," Hirono fired back. "It is just a yes or no." "They never left," Patel said. "What was that?" Hirono leaned in. "They never left their primary job," Patel repeated. "That is your testimony," Hirono said flatly, and moved on. "The FBI is also the lead federal agency for investigating cyber attacks. Since President Trump's inauguration, the executive assistant director in charge of the criminal and cyber branch and the head of the FBI cyber division have both left. What are the names of the people who replaced them?" "The cyber branch is one of the most impressive at the FBI," Patel responded. 409 arrests this year, 169 convictions. That is a 42% increase from the same time last year. It was impressive, the way Patel could pivot from defense to offense, throwing statistics like shields, deflecting every direct question with achievement metrics. But Hirono wasn't impressed. "I want to know who has those positions," Hirono pressed. "Supremely qualified individuals have those positions," Patel said. "Who are they? What are their names?" "You are not getting, we don't know." And there it was, the core of the conflict laid bare. Hirono wanted accountability, transparency, answers to specific questions about who was running the most powerful law enforcement agency in the world. Patel was giving her mission statements, success metrics, deflections wrapped in patriotism. "Director Patel," she said, her voice taking on a different tone now, final and damning. "The FBI is meant to be the tip of the spear in combating terrorism from both foreign and domestic sources. But instead of a specialized role fighting terrorists, hackers, and spies, you have the FBI playing the role of local police and helping with immigration enforcement." Then she delivered the line that would define the entire hearing, the statement that would be played on every news channel for the next week. "I am gravely concerned by the state of the FBI under your control. The FBI is losing dedicated employees, decades of expertise, leading to loss through early retirements, firings, and reassignments. Thousands have already left. For as long as you remain as the head of the FBI, I fear the number of departures will continue to grow." She paused, and then delivered the knockout blow. "Mr. Patel, before the vote on your nomination, I noted that your most significant qualification was your 100% loyalty to President Trump. And I fear that continues to be the motivating factor in your position as FBI director." The room went dead silent. This time, actually silent. No shuffling papers, no whispered conversations, just complete silence. Patel sat there, his jaw tight, his hand still pressed flat on the table. And for just a moment, maybe 3 seconds, maybe 5, his mask slipped. You could see the anger, the frustration, the exhaustion of maintaining this performance for hours. "Mr. Chairman," Patel said. His voice controlled but harder now. "That is an entire falsehood. You can delete my 16 years of government service to multiple administrations all you want. I was a public defender. I was a national security prosecutor. I was a House intelligence staffer. I was Deputy Director of Intelligence. I was Chief of Staff to the Department of Defense. I led counterterrorism missions for the White House. Those are just some of the jobs I held in my 16-year career. There was no loyalty then. There is no loyalty now to anything but the Constitution." It was a good speech, well rehearsed. The resume recitation, the Constitution invocation. But here's the thing. Hirono hadn't asked about his past. She'd asked about his present, and Patel's present was this: thousands of FBI employees gone, top leadership purged, counterterrorism experts reassigned to immigration enforcement, cyber divisions gutted, hiring standards changed to systematically exclude women and older applicants. All happening under a director whose primary qualification was his loyalty to the president who appointed him. The hearing continued, but nobody was listening anymore because the only thing anyone could think about was that number. The number Patel refused to give. How many FBI employees have left since January 20th? 5,000? More? Less? Nobody knows, because the FBI director won't say. Within minutes, clips were everywhere. Twitter exploded. TikTok exploded. News channels cut to the exchange. And in FBI field offices across the country, agents were probably watching, wondering if they were next, wondering what loyalty meant, wondering who was actually running the bureau they'd sworn to serve. Here's why this matters. For decades, the FBI has been the institution Americans either loved or hated, but everyone agreed it was professional, competent, insulated from direct political control. That era is over now. Patel has turned the FBI into something else entirely. An agency where loyalty matters more than experience, where immigration enforcement takes priority over counterterrorism, where asking how many people have been fired is treated as a political attack. And the worst part? Nobody knows the real number. Patel wouldn't say 5,000, Hirono suggested. Could be more, could be less, but the fact that the FBI director cannot or will not answer that question on the record tells you everything you need to know about what's happening inside America's premier law enforcement agency. 2 minutes. That's all it took for Mazie Hirono to expose what is happening inside the FBI. 2 minutes to ask the question Cash Patel couldn't answer: how many people have left? And that refusal, that non-answer, is going to haunt him because now every firing, every reassignment, every early retirement is going to be measured against the number he wouldn't give. The truth is coming out one hearing at a time, one refused answer at a time.